There she goes.
Well, now she looks up. Hey! Give us a wave! Give us a wave! Wave!
That's what I'm talking about. They are so excited. They go home, they gonna freak off tonight. You know they are. Come on!
Years ago, and finally found it. I mean, I saw it again when I was a little more fat and a little older, and I realized that most of the stuff that I remembered of the movie, I had actually imagined. So I set out to make a remake. We got the rights, and it's been 13 or 14 years since we started this movie. I'll tell you more about it in the Q&A, but it's a throwback at a classical Gothic thriller. There is some intense moments, but there is no unnecessary gore or graphic images. Still, you'll kind of crap your pants. We'll see you after the screening, where you can answer any questions or throw any vegetables at you wish. Thank you very much.
It's a question for Katie. How did they drag you into this movie?
Well, I was really excited to hear about the movie, and I heard that this was Guillermo's project that he was producing, and so of course you kind of jumped very, and then I read the script, and the script was wonderful, and it actually, I got scared reading it, which I thought was a good sign, and I was kind of afraid that...
My syntax is scary.
And then I met Troy, and I was really excited, and we talked a lot about his vision for the movie, and then I got to read with BAILEE, and she was just wonderful from the moment she walked into the door. She didn't have to say a word, and it was just really exciting.
When you read the script, did you start to have ideas about the character that kind of fed into, that added to what we see to what was on the page?
Well, yes, I started having ideas, and this is a very specific movie, and I was making a list of things that what can I do to add to the movie, and like types of behavior that this character would have. I thought it was interesting that here's a woman who shows a lot of strength at the end of the movie, but she's worried about it at the beginning of the movie, and she's resisting this child, and she has to go on this journey. So a lot of it was just sitting down with Guillermo and Troy and BAILEE and Guy, and we all kind of mapped out at which point, when was each character going through what emotion. And it's important, I find that really helpful, because then we all know what we're setting out to do. And then, when you're making it, you're all kind of going for the same thing.
So BAILEE, and then I'm going to turn it over to the audience. So when you read the script, did you find it scary? And when are you going to do another horror movie?
Well,
When I first read the script, I remember the first thing that I always do is look at the location and where it shoots. And when I saw Australia, I was like jumping with joy because I've gone on Google before and seen the lay-down beds, and that's all I was looking forward to. So once I researched about that and found out what the airplane would look like, I was...
By the way, she's not represented by a talent agency, but a travel agency.
This was before I read the script. And once that happened, I read the script, I was so excited. And I remember actually watching the original the night that I got it with my next door neighbor and just loving it and looking at the creatures and us looking at each other and going, they kind of look like little peanuts. And trying to visualize what we would do with these monsters. So when I read the script, I was really looking forward to it. And I knew there was going to be something totally different than I've ever done before and a challenge that I was looking forward to. And I don't know, I just kind of crossed my fingers and my prayers and see what happened.
Without touching on sensitive ground, you yourself have had the experience of becoming a mother to children that were not your own. And so did that attract you to the role, or did you draw upon your own personal experiences of being a mother to a child?
Well, I think...
or becoming a mother to a child?
Absolutely. Being a mother is something that is unexplainable until you become one, and it's wonderful. And it's you realize a strength that you didn't know was there before. And what I loved about this character and this movie is it shows that. And I love that scene where Kim is, hurt and she's going and she's fighting to save Sally. That's real. That's every woman understands that or every parent, I should say. And I love when you see characters from a storytelling point of view that start off in a place where there's discomfort, and then you get to see them really take the time to get to know each other and listen to each other. And one of the things that's explored in this movie is that no one's listening to Sally. And is it because she's a little girl? Is it because the parents have too many problems? We tried to make sure the parents had enough problems that we weren't really bad and just point blankly ignoring her. But it explores that, a children's side of things. And I digress. I don't even know where.
No, but what I like in the mapping of the two characters, Sally doesn't artificially suddenly look for Kim. I really like the fact that they have a very gradual approach, and it's a gradual approach that doesn't need any more explanation.
You're computer generated. How did your fear is very real on screen. How did you make it real? And what's the technical process? You have Troy yelling, now they're grabbing at your hands and now they're pulling your hair. What happens on set?
Well, first I'm going to say that BAILEE is an incredible actress.
Thank you. Well, this was my first scary film, so I wasn't used to the whole technical side of it and having to be scared at something that wasn't even there. Once you got there and you tried to put yourself in the character and see what was going on, the set was so realistic itself that when you finally got yourself to feel the emotions that your character was going through, you just need to kind of block out the cameras and go straight into work. But yeah, it was definitely different for me and a challenge. But I remember asking my mom one night, it was before the bathtub scene, and I said, how am I going to do this? And I said, can you just help me? And she goes, BAILEE, you got this. And I was taking a bath that night, conveniently, and all of a sudden the lights go off for like a split second, and then my heart was just racing so fast. And I knew that it was my mom, but I was just like, just imagine that with creatures coming after you. And it's very hard, and sometimes, you would get scared after doing it, but a chocolate sundae would just kind of cure everything. So, but yeah, it definitely was different and hard, but getting to see it come together and hearing all of your comments does mean a lot, because you kind of spend the whole time in front of the camera and you don't really know what's going on behind it, so thank you.
Well, it was really good.